Hello! So, I'm just calling it Gaming Update, and I'm going to do it every month. It's going to be any game haul I have, games that I have purchased that are new or used that I didn't already have. And anything that I feel is gaming related. I'm just showing examples of what I got this month. This last month. It's officially February, so January stuff. And I'm going to talk about what games I've been playing. I'm going to start doing a regular update on my blog of what I've been playing whenever I'm not streaming a game. So, as far as streaming is concerned, I'm not sure if I'm going to continue streaming Super Mario RPG because I kind of just want to pick it up and finish it. And I'm kind of reaching that I don't know what I'm doing point in the game. And I don't want to be boring on stream because I have nothing to say about Mario. So take that as you will. All right. And I'm going to keep streaming Elden Ring, but it's not going to be very often because it's a hard game. And I have a hard time just sitting down and playing really hard games. I prefer to play easier games. I can just sit there and just plow through. Even if they are longer, I just like the fact they're easier. Okay, so let's start with January stuff. So I think this is the only thing I got that's not gaming. So I got this through the Big Bad Toy Store. It's the Final Fantasy VII Advent Children wireless charging pad. It's just a little circle base, and you just sit it down and lay your phone on top of it. And it does work with my phone. I already checked, and that made me very happy. So that was considered mission accomplished in my opinion. So yeah, okay. I'm checking to make sure I didn't skip anything. I got like little notes because I have forgetful problems. I just forget everything. Alrighty. So I'll take it out of the box eventually. I have it in the box for its safety because I keep knocking it off of things. The other thing I'm not going to show it because I didn't show any of my Lego stuff. I might show my Lego stuff one of these days because it is kind of over there in the background and you can almost see it. Luckily, the thing I'm putting together is kind of dark because it's the moving castle from Howl's Moving Castle. Anyways, the thing that I got was one of the Pokemon ones. It's Pichu with like a little tree. It calls it a forest, but it's a single tree, so it's not a forest. But it's technically Mega Bloks brand. I don't know what difference that makes. Who cares? Alright, on to games. So I think the only new game is this one. So this recently came out. Tales of Grace's F Remastered. I have a digital copy of it on the PlayStation 3, but I never got around to it because Tales of games are very long, so I kept putting it off. And I want to try to start playing games more often. I want to show the reverse art of the cover because I feel like the reverse art helps people see that the game is not as artistically challenged as you might think it is. I think that this cover put a lot of people off from the original game. And I'm not really sure why. It looks good to me. And I know that it has a good story. I know that it will make me cry at some point. So it's definitely on my top, I'm going to get to it soon list. Which is part of why I want to do the Super Mario RPG and get it done. Just so I have more stuff done and kind of pushed aside. Alright. Other games I had got this for myself for my birthday. Fire Emblem Awakening. I've been wanting to get this 3DS game. Even though I did have to buy it used, it did come with the little basic control pamphlet that it comes with, and with the silly Club Nintendo thing that no longer is a thing. You only can get points on like certain Switch games that whenever you buy them digitally, you get points. And then if you buy physical ones and it's like within so long since its release, you get points. That you can then use in the eShop to get more games. Which, honestly, I think worked better than the old Club Nintendo where you just saved up a bunch of points and you might be able to get like a calendar. I think I got posters and a calendar, and I got like the background things for like a little case that I stored loose 3DS games in. So whatever. Anyways, so I don't have a lot of Fire Emblem games. I have Three Houses, which I haven't touched. I have Engage, which I actually like, despite what people said about the story. I like heard a lot of people like the story's terrible. I'm like, is it cliche? Yes. Is it good? Yes. People are like, there's too many characters. They introduce a character with each story. If you're doing the side quests between each story mission, it's not that fast. As I spend so long just doing the leveling and getting the characters like bonded or whatever. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But I know this is supposed to be a really good one. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and get it. So I think I have all the Castlevania games up to date. I could be wrong. Anyway, I saw that this is kind of Castlevania inspired, themed. I'm not sure what term to go with here, but it looks very Castlevania-y. Especially like the cover art and everything. It just screams Castlevania to me. And I was like, you know what? I love the Castlevania games. This one really reminds me of those games. I'm sure I'll love it. So I went ahead and got the Bloody Pack that has both the first and second game, Shredded Insanity and Usurper. I know there's another one out. I bookmarked to get it after I play this at some point to make sure that I actually like it. It's on my to-play list. I don't know if I'll get to it this year, though. It's not high priority. It's just a case of I wanted to get it because it was on sale, and I didn't want to forget to get it. Alright, Dark Souls 2. I love Elden Ring, and I have Dark Souls 1, which I have on the PlayStation 3. And I played it a little bit, and I need to redo it because I didn't roll out of the way in time, and the boulder has to make a hole in the wall or something. I don't know. Besides the fact I don't know what I'm doing in the original Dark Souls, I'm probably going to play the, newer PlayStation 5 version at some point. I decided to go ahead and get this, though, because I was like, you know what? I really like the series, and I heard this one's easier than the first one. So, I went ahead and got it. I was like, you know what? I don't have to play them in order. I mean, there's lore, but the story's not that important. I know a lot of people don't like the storybook games. I'm okay with Secret of the Ring, except for the music. The music on the menu and on the missions results screen drives me absolutely insane and batty. And I'm like, alright, I'm muting you before I lose my mind. But I like the storyline, as stupid as it is. And I like the way it plays, as stupid as that sounds. So I was like, you know what? I would probably like this, as dumb as it is. So, clearly, like, your Sir Arthur legend type stuff is going on with it. And I just feel like my craziness would actually like this. Because it does tell you, a Black Knight begins terrorizing King Arthur's Camelot. Sonic and friends suit up to save the Enchanted Kingdom. They say Sonic and friends, but like none of them go by like their names except for Sonic. Sonic's the only one who knows he's Sonic. Everybody else is kind of nuts. That's my best explanation of the game. Everybody's kind of nuts. But honestly, in my mind, it's cool. I enjoy it anyways for its weird, cheesy corniness. Alright, so as for games I've been playing, completed, whatever, I've officially completed YS Memoir, The Oath in Felghana. That was a new game that just came out in January. I started it like the week after it came out, and I started playing it on the easiest setting because I wanted to actually finish the game. And I'm glad I did because it took me a week to actually get through the game. So there's different, I'm going to call them dungeons. I'm not really sure what to call them. The areas. They're kind of like a dungeon that you explore with the character, and You fight the enemies in the overworld. They're kind of out and about. I run past some of the enemies at some point because I was wanting to get to the story. And the enemies can drop stuff to make you stronger while you're fighting, make you faster, do something to your magic so you could use it more or something. Because you do get these like bracelet things that let you cast magic. And you actively use the magic because some of the magic, actually, I think all the magic at some point has some kind of interaction in the overworld. Like the fire can be used to light torches, the wind can be used to jump gaps, which you do absolutely have to do at some point. The earth, I'm going to call that the earth element, has to be used to break rocks that are blocking paths. Is that all you get? I think those are the only ones. I think you just get the 3, and you can freely switch between them with just a button press, which is actually very useful. You get, obviously, swords, armor, shields, which I don't... Is there even a block button? If there is, I have no clue how to use it. And accessories. The accessories, you basically end up finding, like, in an area you fall to at some point in each area because you need the accessory to have an advantage to make it through certain areas. There's kind of like a little side quest to get one of the accessories. You actually have to jump a gap and pick up something and take it back to town and talk to an old woman, and then she gives you the accessory. Each of them are useful. Like, there's one that lets you, at some point in the game, whenever you're going into the abandoned mines, it's dark and you can't see what you're doing. So you need that accessory. That's why you backtrack and you're like, well, I picked up the item that I've been seeing that I couldn't get before, but now I have the wind power. I'm going to go pick that item up. And then you read what it is. You're like, oh, wait, that old lady mentioned something about the person who dropped this. And you take it to her, and as a reward, she gives you an accessory. And then you read what the accessory does. Shows the truth, which doesn't make any sense. It lights up the way. And I'm like, I needed that accessory to further explore because I can't see where I'm going. But now I can. And as soon as you equip that accessory, boom, that area's lit up. I'm like, oh, cool. There's one that lets you walk in the ice caverns or cave or, I don't know, mountain. You're in the Eldarim or something like that, mountains. And there's a lot of ice everywhere. There's an accessory that makes you quit sliding on the ice. Which I was like, yes, I can finally explore this without falling all the time. Because I was painfully trying to make my way through there without falling. But because of the ice, I kept falling. And I was like, there's gotta be a way. And then I was like, oh, yep. Over here is the dead end with the item. The enemies do gradually increase in difficulty. They start out, as bees. It's like, seriously, the first enemy is like outside of the wolves and like the paths, which I don't count them as anything. The wolves and the plants are literally so mundane. I'm just like, who cares? The first area you go to, you come across a bee, and I'm like, really? And I slice down the bee. And then there's another bee. And I slice down the bee. I'm like, what? And I keep going. And it's just like individual bees. Why is this the enemy? And then they start giving you some more normal stuff. Like goblin-looking things. And some kind of creepy spider-looking thing. And I was like, okay, there are some normal enemies. It's not just bees in a cave. Which, why are there bees in a mining cave? I don't know. Anyways, the storyline, it was interesting, but it really didn't hook me. Like, I could tell that the story wanted you to care, but I was like, no, I guess. Because they're like, hey, this is your friend and the guy that you've been looking for is bad or something, and they were friends and they grew up together, and then he did a bad thing, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't care. They tried to make the girl interesting. I think she's supposed to be like a love interest, but I just kind of didn't care. Like, I wanted to care. Like, I tried the whole time. I'm like, should I care? I should care, right? I should care. And I'm still just like, no, I still don't care. I really don't care. I wanted to care. I just didn't. I spent the whole thing like, okay. And then at the end of the game, there's like this huge event, and you're supposed to be emotionally moved. And all I went was, am I done? I mean, I wanted to do the thing, but I guess because this is part of a series, our character can't do it. He can't. He can't do it because he has to be in other games that already exist. Am I done? And then they're like, let's go back to town. I'm like, why? It was like an epilogue of sorts, essentially. They're like, go tell everybody goodbye. I'm like, I guess. I'm not sure I've actually even talked to some of these people even once in the game. If I did, I skipped the text because they had an exclamation point over their head. And I was like, I don't care. Oh, cool. He gave me some stuff to make my sword stronger. Later. I literally did not read. I think I only read like the little boy's text. He was cared about these little tiny squeaky looking things. You can like talk to them and they go eep. I'm like, oh, they go eep. Like, I'm not, I guess like the lamest farm, but it's like the only farm in town. So way to go, kid. You've got animals. I don't know. Like the only interesting side quest out of the whole thing that isn't a case of just smash the button when you talk to them, or give some of the or use to upgrade your weapons to some dude and he'll give you a bunch of money, which you end up needing because you can use it to not only buy better weapons and armor, you also can use it to buy things that increase your life, and you need to increase your HP bar in order to stand a chance against the final boss, because the final boss does a lot of damage even if your equipment is maxed. My equipment was maxed, and he still did a lot of damage. And I'm like, this is on the easiest mode. He's kicking my butt. I had to try out the final boss twice, actually, because of that. I was like, how do I avoid your attacks, sir? Please stop it. I wasn't really sure how to do damage at first. It was like, but I figured it out, and I did good. There's like a part where you're like hitting a ball back and forth. I didn't understand that at first. I was like, this isn't Zelda. This is YS. Why are we hitting balls back and forth? Okay, fine. I just take my lessons from previous Ganondorf fights in my life and use that to beat this guy. And it's just weird. I'm like, I get that final bosses have stages, but to go from every single fight up to that point, smack them with magic or smack them with a sword, or maybe smack them with both, and you win, to your magic is just gonna disappear on you now, and you can't reach the boss with your sword, so you have to wait for the boss to do a thing in order to counter that thing. And I'm like, I've not actually had to solve any puzzles of this sort before yet, but okay. Speaking of puzzles, that's the other thing that made me a little crazy. There's, it's not the final place because it's just to get to the clock tower. But in order to get to the clock tower, there's pieces missing from some piano, and you need to get all the pieces. One of the pieces is not just laying around aimlessly after you defeat a boss. In fact, you have to talk to someone that there's no indication to talk to them. And they're in one of like the optional areas to search, part of a side quest that was optional. So you talk to this like maid lady outside, and she tells you she's concerned about the count's children or wife or whatever. I don't care. And then you go inside. You're like, well, I guess I'll look for them. You have to look for them because one of them is holding the item, and you just happen to have to know to talk to them with no indication, no exclamation point like in any other time in the game when they have something to give you and there's a little exclamation over their head. Absolutely no indication to talk to this little girl child. But you have to talk to her, and then she says, "Here, I took this. Thanks, kid. I don't know what it is. You don't know what a piano key is? Cool, you're real smart." But it's like, why do you have this? And then I've learned my lesson at this point. So continuing on, when you find the dungeon, because you have to in order to progress, because the other way is locked, you naturally talk to the main female chick. I think her name's Elena. I want to call her Elena because I played Grandia 2 in the past, and with the same spelling, her name was Elena, but this one, her name is Elena. Okay. Elena talks to us. I'm like, cool. Elena's fine. She's trapped in a dungeon and could easily just follow me out, but she's fine. Everybody's like, we're gonna stay here. Fine. Stay in the dungeon. It's open. Y'all said, oh, we're locked in this room. The door's not even locked. And in fact, the other rooms tell you the same thing. There's a priest person. We're locked in it. Was locked in this room. I walked in. The woman and her children, we were locked in this room. I, again, walked in here. There was nothing that was locked involved. But okay. You're locked in, if you say so. Anyways, in that dungeon room, there are other people to talk to. You have to talk to them because one of them actually has the key to the door. And I was like, really? But I already had learned my lesson about not talking to people, so I was like, fine, just talk to everybody once and move on. And in fact, I talked to him and he goes, hey, you might need this to progress. I'm going to stay here and watch these two. Cool. Don't escort them out and help them go home where it is safer. Just stay in here where there are monsters right outside your room because it's safer. Whatever. Then you finally go unlock the thing and then make your way up the clock tower, which is another thing that's nonsense. There's platforming, and there's no way to rotate the camera in order to see the depth because they decided to make it so that there is depth as you climb this clock tower, but there's no way to see if you're on the back or the front of the each like little section as you walk and jump up. A lot of times it just jumped and hoped for the best and then would fall and fall and fall. And I'm like, I took more damage from the stupidly placed traps than I did from any of the enemies on my way up the clock tower. Now, on the easiest mode, you can choose to skip the clock tower. I decided to do it anyways to see what you get, because they say there's items you might need. By items you might need, they mean that the statue thingies are in each floor. And you need to get all of them before you finish the game, because you have to hand them over to somebody. Now, I don't know if it will change anything if you don't gather them ahead of time, other than maybe the game making you go back and get them, which is the last thing I wanted to do. So I recommend going ahead and getting them just in case. I don't think it'll change anything. I'm pretty sure it'll still be like, well, you need to get these things, and then you can do the thing, and then you're good. They'll probably have like some way blocked. Oh, you can't go this way. You don't have the thingies. Okay, if you say so. But yeah, so I did that game. I found all the stuff. There's even like optional stuff you can get. And then you talk to other people and then they exchange the stuff. And I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I picking stuff up and taking it to people? Because you can. And it's necessary in order to see that you got everything, because you'll open up your inventory and see that there's all the spots have been filled with something. Even the accessories, there's secret accessories. And I'm like, why are there secret accessories? Some of them are actually really beneficial. Like, there's an accessory that allows you to actually kill the skelliemons. Is it required? No. Will it make your life easier? Yes. You also can buy an accessory that allows you to, if you die, revive, which I forgot to equip, and thus ended up having to hit the retry button whenever I failed the boss fight. That is the only time I died in the game, too, was that boss fight. I was like, of course I did. Kind of wish I had that accessory equipped and it allowed me to just continue from that point, because that was the last stage of the boss that I got stuck at and was confused and didn't know what to do. Because as soon as you bat the ball back enough times, it's like, there, you did it. I'm like, oh, okay. The credits are worth watching because it does show you images of what everybody's up to now that you've left on your next adventure, I guess. Which, I don't know, it's another YS game that already is out, I'm sure, because it's like, what is this one? Like the 4th or 5th one in the timeline? I don't know. You don't need to play the other YS games to understand what's going on, but it would give context to why Dogi, I guess is his name, is traveling with you. You don't need it, though, because you only see him briefly. You spend most of the game by yourself running around smacking things. Yeah, smack you with the sword? Cool. Oh, hitting you with the sword don't do shit. Let me use the magic. Whoop. And you can kind of spam some of the magic, which kind of is what I ended up doing at certain times. I'm like, I don't feel like dealing with this magic. Oh, they all died. Next. Because you still get experience points regardless. So, I did that entire game. Once you finish the game, you can create a New Game Plus save file. I don't know what it gives you. It just tells you there's a bonus waiting. And I was like, yeah, I don't care enough to do that right now. It also unlocked a certain amount of the in-game gallery that are optional images. There's still more images. So I'm like, this game wants you to complete it more than once. Okay. So I just kind of was like, another time. I finished you. I've seen what you have to offer. I'm good. You know, like, is it a good game? Yes. Would I recommend full price? No. I feel like it's like, it should be a $20 game, is how I felt about it. It was like, I get that it's supposed to be replayable, but I'm not sure I want to. That was kind of how I felt about it when I got done. I was like, I don't know that I want to replay it. I'm not sure it'd be more fun to play it on a harder level. Like, I feel like harder difficulty would just make me mad. Like, why am I wasting my time with this? That's just how I felt about the game. Personally, I'm sure everybody has different opinions. Maybe if you've played other YS games and are more invested in who Adol is, maybe you care more about Dogi, it might be better. But I didn't play any of the other YS games. I just played this one and I said, oh, this is fun. And then whenever you have to retrack areas, I'm like, this is not as fun anymore. Why am I going through this area again? Okay. And then whenever I find all the stuff, I'm like, alright, did it. Next. And then I'm like, I don't know. I just wish the story grabbed me more. It didn't do it. I wished it did, but it didn't. But yeah, that was the first game I finished. Because I was like, yeah, I'll just go ahead and finish this game entirely. And I was like, yeah, it was decent. It was a new game, just came out this year. It's worth a play. I don't know that I would have paid full price had I known that I would just kind of be like, it was fun. Like, I don't know. I don't mind it, but at the same time, I'm not sure I would have paid full price if I knew that. Okay, outside of spending a bunch of time on the YS game, I've been playing Hello Kitty and Friends Happiness Parade. Is that the name of it? Yes. I'm about halfway through it, but I'm stuck because it actually gets hard for a Hello Kitty rhythm game. Of all the things, it's actually difficult. And I'm like, I don't know if I can beat these final stages with high enough scores to unlock the characters. And the last two stages, I don't know if I can beat them at all just to see the other two endings. Because there's an ending for each of the. There's 5 endings. It don't make sense. It doesn't have to make sense. I guess it was originally a Netflix game. I got it on the Switch eShop because I had no clue. I don't know. It was one of those cases where I'm like, cool, I guess. But, yeah. So, I've been playing it. I haven't really. I haven't made as much progress as I would like. Like, I've played some of it yesterday and today, officially into February. I feel like I won't be giving an update next month unless I actually get further in the game. It might be one of those games that I end up abandoning. I hate doing that. I haven't done that very often. I feel like there's only like Cult of the Lamb is I got really ticked off that the final boss was not the final boss and there was a whole game's worth more of stuff to do, and I was like, I'm done. I was just burned out with the game at that point. That first time I played Castlevania Symphony of the Night, I did that because I was also done. But I eventually went back and actually finished that game. I can't remember if there was. I feel like there's like one other game that I never went back to it. But I can't remember because I don't own it anymore. It was one of those games that not only did I abandon it, I sold it because I hated it. I just don't remember. Because there's very few games that I can't stand. Like, I can't stand My Sims Agents. But I completed that game and then sold it because it was stupid. But I actually completed it first. I generally try to finish a game. So I don't know. I'm going to give probably 3 more tries on each stage before I say, you know what, my life has better things to do with it than staring at Hello Kitty dancing down the road, which is entertaining for a little while. After you've put like 3 hours into it, you're like, yeah, I don't want to watch her dance anymore. I just kind of want to be done. And using the abilities, I spam their abilities as soon as it's available. I'm like, yes, this ability allows me to be invincible, which is the Pompurin. I don't know. Like, each character from Sanrio has a different ability. And you start out with Kitty, Melody, and Pompurin. I quickly started unlocking other characters because there's some that are just stupid easy to unlock. Like Choco Cat was not too bad to unlock. What is the name of that dog? I unlocked him, but I don't remember his name. Because I don't really care. Pooch something. I'm not looking at the game. I cannot remember his name. He's just a white dog with black ears. I don't know. If you're familiar with Sanrio, you probably know who I'm talking about. I just can't remember his name because he's not a character I particularly am a fan of. Like, I know he's a He's a dog. I don't know. I like Kitty. I like Melody. I like Pomperin. He's such a funny fat dog. I don't know. I like him. But anyways, I unlocked. Like I said, I unlocked the Choco Cat, which I still am not really familiar with Choco Cat, other than it's a black cat. Okay, whatever. I unlocked the dog. I just do not remember his name. It's like Pooch something. I feel like Pooch is in his name. I'm probably very wrong. I unlocked Bad Badit's Maru. I'm not sure on pronunciation of that goofy penguin. He's a troublemaker. I unlocked Cinnamoroll, the flying puppy. I like the flying puppy. He's kind of cool. Who else did I unlock? I know I unlocked one other. I know there's at least one other character I unlocked and am not using. No particular reason. I'm just not using them. I don't remember. I know I unlocked another character. I just don't remember who it was. That I still need to unlock because they're the 3 levels I'm stuck suffering through. Kuromi is the hardest level, which does not surprise me at all. Um, then I need to unlock Kuropi, the little frog guy. He's a hard level for some reason. And I need to unlock Star Children. I'm not. They just show one, but they're generally paired together. I'm like, they're generally together. Why is there just the one? Okay. Oh, I don't care. It doesn't really matter to me. It's just kind of weird. It's like they're only showing the one, but sure, whatever. It's driving me nuts. Who was the other character? Because there's certainly another character, right? I can grab it real quick and look. Because I still got it paused on my Switch because I was just like, I'm getting annoyed. Okay, I don't need to look at my current team. Okay, Hello Kitty and Friends. It's like a Kitty, Melody, Pom Pom Purin, Bad Badit's Maru. Why is he Bad Badit's Maru? Ain't he just Badit's Maru? Pikachu. That's his name. That's the dog. Choco Cat. Tuxedo Siam. Tuxedo Siam's the one I forgot I unlocked. I don't know. I guess the 2 Star Children are separate unlocks. That's annoying. Anyways, yeah, and Cinnamoroll. So yeah, I gotta get Kuropi. I don't even. Who named that frog? Anyway. And they don't even have names for them, but they clearly are the Star Children. Alright. Yeah, let me look at the map thing. Because Yeah, okay. I see where she's at. She's the level. She's a level I've been avoiding because it's right in front of Kuromi. And I'm just. It's like really hard levels over there. And I was at the point where I'm like, I'm struggling just with the regular hard levels. I don't want to know how hard those levels are going to be. Because you got easy, medium, hard, and I'm like, well, what's next? Very hard? Extra hard? Run away and cry because Hello Kitty's not supposed to be this hard? So yeah, I'm going to keep trying at that just a little bit longer, but if I don't update next month, it means I dropped the game and moved on with my life. And went to the Super Mario RPG game and decided to finish it instead. As I said, I'm going to start trying to remember, like, either when I have something to update or maybe once a week, posting on my blog what I'm up to, some thoughts, some gaming whatevers. I I won't share like new games I get or whatever because I'm gonna save that for the updates. Um, yeah, and I might talk about digital games I get. That's all. That's what I'll do. If I have a new game that's digital, I'll do that on the blog because I generally don't talk about it on here because I did get a new digital game. I ain't touched it and I don't know when I will. So there's no real reason to really concern myself with it, to be honest with you. Um yep, I think that's it. So oh wait. The first game I beat this year, I had started it the first of the year. I keep forgetting about it. Because it only took me 3 play sessions. Dragon Quest, Dragon Warrior, whatever you want to call it. I played the one on the Switch eShop, which I guess is technically a mobile port. I wasn't waiting for the 2D HD thing to be made because I guess there is one coming out eventually, probably next year. If I was to guess, I would say next year. Um, but I didn't want to wait any longer. I wanted to actually finally experience the game myself, and it's fun. I think there's only one part I didn't know what to do. Despite how much I ran around and talked to everybody in the game, and I was like, okay, I'm like over leveled at this point. I can lay waste to the dragons like they're nothing. I'm pretty sure the final boss doesn't even stand a chance against me. What am I supposed to do to make this stupid bridge appear? It turns out at the castle, you gotta use a key to get over to the other side. And then you walk along the edge of the castle. And that's the only way to get to the specific area that has the item you need. Which is stupid, but okay. Once you get it, you'll officially have the items. And then you gotta go talk to the wise man. And he'll do a thing. I don't know. We gotta go talk to the wise man to the south of the last town before you get to the boss guy. So I just ran all the way back around there. I was like, oh, I wish there was fast travel. That's how you know it's an old game. There's no fast travel, and you're like, I gotta walk all the way back. Okay. So I walked all the way back. And I literally abused my magic ability to make monsters just leave me alone. I was like, there's a magic spell to make monsters leave me alone. Cast it. It doesn't work inside the dungeons or caves, though, which is stupid. But I was like, fine, whatever. I already saved the princess. I already took her back. I just need to kill the bad guy. Which, whatever. People are saying that you can beat the game without saving the princess. You can't. The game will tell you to go get her. As I made a quick saver whatever thing so I could later see what would happen. And I was like, okay, yeah, they make you go get her. It might be that the original NES version didn't, but on this version it did. And then the other thing was people were saying that you could tell her no, or you could join the Demon Lord. You cannot join him. If you tell him that you're joining him, you'll wake up at the inn in the town right next to his dungeon, castle, keep, whatever, and then have to make your way back through his castle. And then after you defeat him, if you tell her no, that you're not going to take her with you to live happily ever after, she'll be like, oh no, don't be silly. I forget exactly what she says, but she's just like, no, you're going to take me. You're stuck with me. Like, I don't know how I feel about that. Stuck with this broad. And she's goofy. Simper. Like, simper. What kind of noise is a simper? I don't know. I don't know what that means. I don't care. It's still, you got your stereotypical normal stuff. Slimes. G-slimes. Those bat things. I forget what they're called. Anyways, ghosts. Skeletons. Dragons. It's nothing too special, but it's fun because it's like one of the original RPGs, and it's not hard despite being so old. Because like if you do accidentally get yourself killed, you just lose some of your money and wake up at the castle and go, I guess I'm gonna go grind some more. Thanks, game. But I mean, it's not that big a deal. It's like, all right, well, I'll just go grind a little bit, and then I'll try again. Which generally I ended up grinding anyways because I needed enough money to buy the best whatever in the game. I wanted to get the best sword, the best armor. And you're like, might as well. I don't like the fact there's an inventory limit. That did get in my way a little bit towards the end of the game. But once you have enough spells and stuff, you generally don't need any items outside of your equipment anyways. There's a spell that makes you travel back to the castle. There's a spell that makes the dungeons and caves and whatever light up. There's a spell that makes enemies leave you alone. So at that point, you're just like, I don't know that I actually need any items. I pretty much have magic for everything. Obviously, there's a spell to heal yourself. There's a spell to heal yourself even better than the first spell, too. Like, the only item you end up really needing is if you need to save the princess ahead of time, in order to get, the easily get anyways, because somebody tells you kind of they tell you how many steps east and south of the palace you need to be, in order to find the place that has the proof of your birthright, and you absolutely need that stupid item. So you could take it to the stupid wise man, and then he goes, okay, that's proof. Like, yeah. Great. Did you have to give it to him? Or he won't talk to you, and will just kick you out of his cave. Doesn't matter if you have everything else. He still will kick you out, which is hilarious. It's like, I have all the stuff to defeat the... You don't have a birthright. Get out of here. Okay. Never mind. I'll go walk around a swamp and find it. I mean, by that point, I had the armor anyways, so the swamp didn't hurt me. I'm just walking around aimlessly. I'm like, where is it? Here it is, finally. You found it on the floor. I'm like, yeah, I found it on the ground, alright. Walked around the swamp aimlessly till I found the one shiny spot and picked it up. Because I wasn't going to keep checking the menu and pressing the button so she could say, my love, you are this many paces from me. I was like, alright, that's getting old. Never mind. But it's cute. I like the concept of it. It's not a long game by all means, and it's relatively cheap. So, I mean, I wouldn't blame you if you wait for the 2D HD, just because it might make a few things easier, like figuring out how to go along that castle wall, because that was brain-boggling, and I ended up looking it up. But outside of that, I figured out everything else in the game myself. I made a bunch of notes because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Ended up just writing down everything. Maybe this is what they're talking about. No, about this. No. This. No. Some of the information is useless, but then some of the other information, once you figure it out, you're like, oh, I get what they're saying. Never mind. And it's like, alright, cool, whatever. And, like, there's hints at stuff. Like, you're hinted at that you need proof of your birthright. Right in the first town, there's a guy you talk to, and he says, you don't have your birthright to prove that you are who you say you are. I'm like, okay. And once you do find it, he's like, I was wrong. You are the descendant. You're not gonna you just accuse me of shit and then you don't even, fine, whatever. I was mad at him. He wasted my time. But you needed the item for the wise man. So in the long run, he was right. I needed proof. And it was stupid. But, you know. That's neither here nor there. It doesn't really matter in the long run. It was just something that was like, oh, come on. That's stupid. If somebody does say something about a secret behind something in the palace, and I'm like, I don't understand where that's at. Because the NPC says it's behind the throne room, and I'm like, what? Because there's nothing up there. I'm like, I walked around there. There's nothing up here. What are you wanting me to go? And it doesn't mean behind the throne room. It means outside the castle. And I'm like, that's kind of wrong information, but I get it, I suppose. The other information makes more sense. When you find the dark path, keep going down it. And they give you the name of the town. I'm like, did it what? What path? And there is one. Because once I ran around aimlessly enough and checked every corner of every house, of every building, it of course is the one that has a locked door to it. I finally find the locked path, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm down the dark path. I get it. And then you gotta keep going, and that's how you get an item you need. I'm like, alright, you got me. You got me there. Good job, game. So, I mean, some of the hints worked. Some of them were kind of like, I don't know what they're wanting me to do. Play the thing for the golem. What golem? Gold golem? It doesn't work on him. He doesn't care. But there is a golem in front of a town, and I'm like, what? Okay, fine. Use the item. The golem goes to sleep. Cool. Smack on him. He wakes up. Dang it. Use the item again. I'm like, alright, I get it now. It makes him go to sleep, so I can beat snot out of him and enter this stupid town. Generally, by the time you get there, you're already pretty injured anyways, because everything there is harder than the previous area, as always. And it's like, I don't have the current equipment upgrade because I haven't been in the town yet. Let me in. And they're like, too bad. And if you want the equipment upgrade, you need keys. Like, oh my gosh. Like, well, now I need more money again. Want to walk around outside, beat stuff up. Well, you need to heal. I'm like, yeah, I know. Eventually you run out of magic, and you're like, well, now I gotta stay at the end. It costs us 56. I'm like, oh, forget that. Just fast travel back to the palace and go to the first town where it's cheap. It's only 2 gold. And walk all the way back here. Everything doesn't hurt me except for the stuff over here. And that's just what you end up doing, which is fine. It gives you an excuse to level up some. And then eventually you have some of the best stuff, and you're like, well, the final boss is going to be a joke. Of course, he has more than one phase, because why wouldn't he? But at that point, if you've done everything yourself and you didn't use any guides, you'll be leveled enough that it's nothing. If you do follow a guide, though, you'll probably have to level a little bit. Though you'll probably be doing that anyways, like I said, just to afford the items. It's like, I need how much gold for that sword? Alright, fine. Go beat up some slimes. Slime, she slime, slime, she slime. A bat. I'm a little bit stronger now. Let's go start smacking ghosts. Ghost bat, ghost bat, ghost bat. I think they're called Drackies. It's just like, a Dracky appeared. Uh-huh. Slap. You defeated the Dracky. Cool. You gained, I think it's like 5 gold. I'm like, ugh. A ghost appeared. Uh-huh. Smack. You defeated the ghost. You gained 10 gold. Whatever. Actually, I think it's 6 gold. Like, each of them dropped, like, such small amounts at the beginning. It's like, oh my gosh. And as soon as you're strong enough, you start attacking the stronger stuff. You're like, alright, I'm gonna go beat up this other stuff. A skeleton appeared. And some of the stuff, I don't remember the name of it, because I'm like, a what appeared? Whatever. Hit it with the sword. Oh, yay, I won. Next. The gold golems are worth the most, but they're also kind of rare. So it's like, I don't know which is better, just to fight the stronger enemy and heal myself after each battle, or keep hoping for the gold guy to spawn because he'll give me like the equivalent of 10 battles worth of money. I was like, I don't know. I was torn at that point. I'm like, I don't know anymore. I just went with the surefire choice. So, like, oh, as long as I keep smacking them and healing, I'm good. Because at that point, I had the armor on, so I just walk into town and walk back and forth up and down the road till my HP healed up. Walk back outside and start smacking things again with the sword. Just hit it with the sword. Just keep hitting it. Just keep hitting it. And it was a fun game. I actually really enjoyed it. It was something I was like, you know what? When the 2D one comes out, I can see me playing this game again. Because it's fun. Plus, I also know the stupid answers to the dumb puzzles now. Oh, I need this stupid item there. Got it. Whatever. Which is silly. It's like, oh, I needed. Alright, whatever. It's like, alright, I get it. Whatever. It's all matters. It's like, oh, you gotta go to this place and go look around there, and then you can pick up a thing, but a thing will attack you when you pick it up. Of course it will. Alright. That's everything. There's the games I've played, games I finished. Um, until next time, thank you so much for watching. This actually went way longer than I thought because I kind of rambled a little bit. I'll try not to be as rambly next time. Maybe use a guide with some bullet points or something to keep myself on topic. I don't know. Until then, bye.